We look at it as like a funnel, the top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel traffic.
It used to be too much work, but now with this platform that you've built with Search Atlas and the Auto platform as well, this is like automating a lot of it, right?
99 or 98% of businesses should be. There's that 1 or 2% where it may not make sense.
How has SEO changed in the last 5 years? And maybe layer this in with some big misconceptions that people have, because it's changed so dramatically, and what you guys doing, it's different to other agencies. So if any businesses that are listening are working with a current agency, I can bet you a bajillion dollars they are doing it the old school shitty way, locking them into like 12-month contracts and telling them that it takes a really long time.
We have a really cool vantage point on this problem of like how has SEO changed, and also how the industry is performing and serving SEO. Because number one, we have a lot of agencies. We have over 4,000 agencies that use Search Atlas to execute their SEO strategies for their clients, and that number is growing by a few thousand every month now. So growing very quickly. And so we do a lot of education. We do a lot of teaching. Like, here's what we've learned. Here's our research and how you should do it. And we can see where the agencies were in terms of their strategies, their methodologies, especially even when our agency gets called in for like a brand. At this point, we only keep at our agency a maximum of 100 clients. We won't go over that because we're not really trying to build an even more massive agency. We're just trying to take the 100 most interesting, hard, complicated, creative kind of problems for brands, because that's our lab. That's where we take our research and we're able to validate the hypotheses and build the technology for those 100 businesses. And we don't want to go to 101 because we only need 100, and we'd rather get the best 100 brands, right, to work with. So we have a cool vantage point into how other people are doing it, and also because of our reach, what is actually effective. And what we can see, I mean, and just think about this for a second. The way that we did SEO, let's say last year, let's say Google completely rewrote the algorithm and it's a totally different equation. If you're going based off of a blueprint that was written some time back, how do you know that that blueprint still works? The algorithm can change overnight. I could wake up tomorrow and the algorithm could behave completely differently. And we see in the times where the Google algorithm updates are rolling out, they're rebalancing their index, they're recalculating different mathematical components to the overall blended scores of websites and web pages. So if the equation shifted, how do we know that what we're doing is still effective? Well, there's a mathematical way to figure this out. It's called correlation, where we can look at the search results and analyze them and say, this website or this web page has this authority score and this content score and this technical score and this UX score. And we can create what's called the ensemble score mathematically and correlate it. And that's exactly what we've done, where we can pretty much predict when we pull search results, we could predict the ordering of those search results just based on that math equation, because our math equation and Google's math equation have been tuned together. So that was like a huge breakthrough for us, is reverse engineering the algorithm and building our own equation that mirrors, and it's essentially as a proxy for theirs. So once we did that and we got the equation, we then understood what are the dials and the levers that we need to turn. And then that's exactly what we did. We figured out how do we automate the acceleration of each of those variables in that equation so that we can get websites, including ourselves. We've got thousands and thousands of case studies, now, because it's a math problem. However, we also expect that math problem is going to change over time as, number one, like, we're about to step into the quantum computing era. We're moving in that direction. The equations that we're using currently are basically bound by the computational power of these servers that we all have access to on Google Cloud and Amazon. But when we step into the quantum computing era, the amount of power that unlocks algorithmically, the level of complexity of the math equations is many, many orders of magnitude higher. And so it's just expected that there's going to be a more advanced algorithm to calculate the quality of websites in a way more powerful way than the shorthand notation that's currently being used. And so we're also looking ahead to that to understand what do those algorithms look like, and how is quantum computing likely to reshape the way that Google's ranking information in its search engine. So it's a little bit forward thinking, but it allows us to be dangerously competitive in the current moment of what the search engine is ranking today.
And by knowing that, that's kind of the thing that obliterates those big misconceptions, right? Like too hard, too technical. No, because you've tuned your mathematical equation to the Google one, so you can predict what's going to happen. So that's not an issue anymore for SEO. It takes too long to see results. Well, it used to be that it would be, oh, it's going to take 6 to 12 months until your lame blog content that we've posted actually starts ranking. Now it's 14 to 30 days. It used to be too much work, but now with this platform that you've built with Search Atlas and the Auto platform as well, this is like automating a lot of it, right? I imagine you still need smart SEO people to use the technology, like it's not just 100% automated. And so I would say then, like in your experience, should all businesses be investing in SEO? Like, and how much should we be investing?
A good question. I'd say, so the answer is, I would say 99 or 98% of businesses should be. There's that 1 or 2% where it may not make sense. And let me give you the example. Like fidget spinners, right? You remember those? Right? When the fidget spinner first came out, no one knew what it was, right? It was a new thing. The fidget spinner didn't even exist on the internet until it was born into existence. So if you were trying to rank on Google for fidget spinner, no one's looking for that, right? So the SEO strategy for that business wasn't really there. You might have had to target like keywords like toys and other really competitive things and phrases that maybe you don't really stand a good chance for. So with SEO in some industries, there might be a level of investment that's too high for what that business is able to afford, where it may not really make sense to focus on that as a channel. It might be more sensible to focus on retailers as a distribution mechanism to grow the business. Maybe it makes more sense to go for community. Maybe it makes sense to find some ad channels where they can scale up slowly rather than having to do long-term investment. But I would say by and large, for 98, 99% of businesses, it is a incredibly dynamic and powerful channel. I think in all of my years of doing this, there's only been a handful of businesses that came to us and they said, hey, Manick, we'd like some help with our SEO. And we politely told them that we didn't think that it would make much sense for them, but very few.
And because it just goes back to the stages of awareness, right? Even if they're not looking for exactly what you do, they're going to be looking like not the solution, they'll be looking for the problem. And then that's just a different way to rank and get in front of you. Do you guys think about it that way as well when you're doing SEO?
We 100% do. So we look at it as like as a funnel, the top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel traffic.